Happy Monday. Welcome to ATI ProMedia. I'm glad to be home, sitting here in Valparaiso, Indiana. We do this from the road. We do it from everywhere. We are live at 9. Great show today, but I always say great show. How do I know it's going to be a great show? Because we've took a few hours before the show to plan it and get you what you need to know today. Today's news today, and this show is fueled by the good folks at Advanced Trading. Of course, I am Tommy Grisafi. Let's get into the news. Cocoa, oh so sweet, going up, up, up. I don't know why. I don't know when it stops. I don't want to trade it. I don't want you calling me, telling me you want to trade it. I'm not going to trade it for you. We're going to stick to what we love to do, corn, wheat, and beans. But with that, speaking of corn, wheat, and beans, we have a USDA report this week. That's going to be a big one. Not just the acreage. I know you guys are awesome and going to plant a lot of acres, but watch the stocks. Short week, USDA report Thursday. And some breaking news across the streams on Reuters this weekend, talking about aviation fuel. That's going to be interesting. Of course, we got Bitcoin. Looking at my screens. Hey, brother Joe, remember I told you queue up Bitcoin up 3,500? Wrong. It's up 4,500 now. Fix that pop up. All right. Bitcoin up 4,500. We have grains up. That feels good to say. Friday was a rough day for beans. Some volatility hitting beans. And last but not least, cattle on the move. A gap lower after that cattle on feed report. Brady Huck broke it all down on the weekend edition of ATI ProMedia. We have a couple tidbits from that. So with that, let's bring in Connor B. It's going to be a wild week this week. I'm going to be traveling. Connor, man, I feel like your internet's just not been right. There you are. You got everything shut down. You ready to go?
Yep. If I'm chopping, I apologize. Just cut me out. But happy Monday, Tommy. Glad to be back.
Don't make me go
Busy
solo.
week.
I can't do it. I can do it. I'll go solo.
I know.
What do you got?
Everyone knows you can do it. We've got a busy week, right? All eyes are going to be on Thursday. That USDA report comes out at 11 a.m. And then guess what? Friday is Good Friday. Markets are closed. And then we're not going to open up again until we do have a night trade, right, Tommy? Sunday night, markets are going to open up again. So the end of the week, right, we know that report historically is a market mover. So we'll be talking a lot about that. We'll be going live Thursday. So I think the trade will be focused on it. It'll be our focus this week too. But until then, let's jump into some other markets. How about it, Tommy?
Absolutely. You made
First
the
one we
headlines
got
this week. Do cocoa. What's the deal with that thing? Cocoa and copper.
cocoa here, and let's pull up the chart too, Joe. Cocoa more expensive than copper as it tops 9,000. Look at that. I think that's the definition of going parabolic. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the corn soybean chart, but huge rally getting into is this as we look back to 1960, we are in more than record territory as we look at cocoa. And so, like you said, it's not a commodity we trade. It's not a commodity we look at, right? We're in the gold commodities, right? The corn, soybeans, wheat, and the soft commodities we like to talk about, but huge in cattle, yes, and huge run up in copper. Speaking of cattle, give us some color on the cattle on feed report. I think Brady did a special Friday, but what are we doing in cattle markets right now, Tommy?
Yeah, let's bring in the charts, Joe. Cattle market's having a great rebound. We did gap open lower. This is a daily June live cattle. And as you can see, we crossed the red. That is the 20 bar moving average. So being that this is a daily, that's your 20-day. Look at that support popping right in. Cattle went right down to that level. Let me show you some shorter price action, folks, how people like in my world who like to scalp a little. This is what we did. We gapped open lower. We're bouncing. And we had even a bigger, more impressive move in feeder cattle. So let's look at the daily feeder cattle, Connor, and folks watching, crossing the 20, hitting that support at the 50. And then, of course, the price action, nice bounce. So you could say cattle and feeders are down. I could say, hell with that. They're $300 off the lows, and this thing's rocking and rolling. These numbers are different. So with that, bacon's up 90 and gold's up 20. Corn, wheat, and beans are up. Things are moving. Interest rates are up. Crude oil's up. Stock market's down. DOJ, again, messing with those big tech companies. You're seeing some pushback there. Kind of makes sense, right? When you have NVIDIA going up 100% on the year, everyone's going to start snooping around in your business, and government's going to try to put their hands in it. Hey, real quick, Connor, Last week we talked about Tesla, and that YouTube short we made with Tesla had over like 13,000 views. And I don't even know if we said anything really great. We just said the word Tesla, and the algorithms love when you say Tesla. So let's just keep saying it. Actually, what's Tesla have to do with the American farmer and rancher? I think it has more to do than you think, because when we talk about this push to alternate energies, uh, this whole push to cars, I don't know. Tesla stock not doing well this year. Push to battery operated cars. What are you seeing on the aviation fuel side, my friend?
Yeah, a great article coming out from Reuters. And so I want to talk about, because in our world, Tommy, that sustainable aviation fuel, it's like an event, it's just on the horizon, right? We want to see that demand. But so an Exxon VP, he kind of stated the obvious. It's very expensive compared to regular fuel, about 5 times more expensive than regular jet fuel. So if we're going to want it in the short term or long term, right, we got to make it cheaper. We're probably going to need some government intervention. Here's some fun color for you just looking at it. And this is going to be, if this doesn't get you bullish soybeans in the hopes that we get it, I don't know what will, Tommy. But right now, demand for jet fuel is 7 million gallons a day, right? Hopefully by 2050, they're predicting it to be 12 million gallons a day. We can produce 15.8 million gallons of biofuel, sustainable aviation fuel per year. So do we have room to grow if the sustainable aviation fuel takes off? Absolutely, right? Biden issued and he said he wanted 3 billion per year by 2030. So we're still waiting on the rhetoric to what is defined by sustainable aviation fuel. I'm hopeful we'll see it. See the rhetoric talking about biodiesel and have that language in it. And so, big potential. We'll continue to watch it and see where we go in the next few years.
That's interesting. It feels like more of a feel good thing. Today I'll be going to O'Hare Airport. United will have signs about it. I think they get 99% of the people walking through the airport have no clue what we're talking about. And I might even be in that 99%. I don't spend a lot of time looking at this, thinking about it. But to the farmer, if you want to get excited about it, this could be it. So when times look bad and it looks like markets are going to go down and we're never going to go up, look, I remember when the ethanol industry started. I'll tell you a story about the ethanol. When I was a young man, many years ago, President Bush, the younger President Bush, uh, he gave a speech, a State of the Union, just like President Biden did a few weeks ago. And in what he said, it triggered this great trader from California to realize that the ethanol boom was starting. And he started buying 50, I believe it was like DEES '08, and it was back in '06, '07. He started buying 50 DEES '08 contracts of corn like every few hours and accumulated tens of thousands of a long position in DEES '08 and wrote it dollars higher. It was just one of the most incredible trades I've ever witnessed. And it's all because of what the president said during the State of the Union. So sometimes when times look bad, that's the time to uh, figure out a way to be a little more optimistic. What we don't want people to do, and what this has to do with risk management, is if everyone, including us, is really, 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 really bearish, and we know the stocks, and we know this, and we know there's USDA report. If you get involved in these programs that are getting you doubled up, tripled up at the lows, you're going to have no upside. And so what tends to happen is people get lazy, complacent, and really aggressive. So it's like they're lazy. They were lazy in their marketing and they get aggressive at the lows and they get too creative. And when you get too creative and we rip into a bull market, they're calling us when corn's at $6 asking us to buy upside and we're telling them a $7 call is 25 cents. Have you seen that happen in your brokerage career already, Connor? I'm sure you have with Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. With Ukraine, or even let's go back to 2020, right? That's the year where COVID hit. We were below $3 cash corn almost everywhere in the United States, right? Most areas were a negative basis, low cash prices. It was doom and gloom. The crop looked good. And then what happened late that summer, Tommy? Derecho in Iowa. China decided they needed some soybeans and corn. The demand picked up huge, and by 5-6 months later what we were at $7 corn. So
I remember
absolutely
it
we've
like it
seen
was
that swing.
yesterday.
It was
Yeah,
4 years ago, Tommy, if you want to feel like time flies.
It is flight. Matter of fact, I was just looking at this computer I'm on. And I'm like, yeah, this computer's brand new. This supercomputer I'm working with is almost 4 years old, which it's got a killer NVIDIA chip in it. And they were putting NVIDIA chips in computers long before NVIDIA was cool. And my NVIDIA chips for the processing so I could have 6 monitors. Anyway, speaking of processing, we're going to need to process a lot of data exactly at 11 o'clock on Thursday. Myself, Connor B, Brady Huck. We have some people talking to our ear, going to give us a breakdown from corporate. We're going to go live around 10:54, 10:55. That stream already, folks, is up there. Go under the Advanced Trading YouTube, hit like, subscribe, notifications. We're going to break it down as well as any group in the industry can. We're going to bring it to you live, which could be scary because these numbers are going to be interesting, both from the acreage. Again, reminding you, you're awesome. You're going to plant a lot of corn. You love planting corn. And two, from the stocks report. With that, let's talk about premium content a little bit. B. Huck did a great job breaking it down for us Friday. There he is. Handsome alert right there. Cattle on feed, premium content. Brady Huck, wild. Again, these cattle numbers came out. You were still able to buy LRP insurance. That is changing soon. After that, Don Wick broke it down with us. Week in review. Does a great job doing everything. I mean, he's been in the business for 42 years, but Don is dialed into Washington, D.C. like nobody I know. With that, we're going to, I think last week, Connor, we did we promised 6 pieces of premium content every week, but we actually did 8. So we got out our morning newsletter. That's all part of the premium. We got out the Friday edition with Brian Bastine, how he did the producer wire. We did 8 pieces of premium content, but wait, there's more. If you call us right now and subscribe to ATI Pro Media content, I have a $30 American flag. So ATI Pro Media costs $30. On the premium side, this is free, always will be free. Call right now, 1-855-737-FARM. Say, I signed up for ATI Pro Media Premium. Send me my flag. I love America. You know who else loves America? I send a lot of these to Canada. Now, here's the deal. The flag costs $30. The shipping costs $30 too. Canadians, take it easy on us. We might have to click on Amazon and send you a No Canada flag or something. Tell us what you've learned about premium content just in the few weeks that we've been live doing paid for prescription service.
Yeah, absolutely. All great videos. I love them. I'm, being from the merchandising background, I love talking risk management. I love hearing Michael Reginelli speak. I think he brings a ton of good information. He looks at it, right? On paper, we've got the same job, right, Tommy? We're both brokers in the gray market, but he looks at things being that commercial broker. He looks at things a little bit differently. He's looking at more specific things. So I love to see his insight in doing that. And then also, right, I love hearing Brady talk LRP, right? He's made me much better cattle broker and looking at that. So it's been great so far. And I've had a lot of fun filming them too.
Very good. And we have a couple new contributors who are coming on. A lot of people out on spring break. They'll be filing in here week after week. You're going to see a lot of new contributors. 12 in-house people. Big shout out to Michael Reginelli. Good looking and smart. Not something you normally see in a commercial broker. He's got the dual superpowers there. But whether you're at home and you have a 100,000 bushel bin or you're an elevator with a 5 million bushel bin, we're all dealing with the same problem. So it's time for us all to sharpen those pencils and get smart. The commercial part, when we have those guys, is called merchandising magic, and they always do a great job. That'd be Kurt Struber who's helping, Michael Reginelli, Nate DeRocco, of course, Nathan Mangold, sending all types of pretty charts and everything from the background. Speaking of pretty charts, let's get into it.
Yep. Pull them up, Joe. First thing we had Friday, commitment of traders report, right? And so not anything out of the ordinary. They're still covering some of that record short position in soybeans and corn. I did just normal soybeans and corn chart, Tommy, here. But the real story, the big short covering was really in soybean oil. That was a big one that we're ticking higher. And so not a whole lot of news, but let's keep talking about it. And here's my question that I think we need to watch the next couple months, the next 6 months, is when we look at historically, when we're in these big short positions, there's a lot of years when we went to a net long position. Some years we didn't. And so it'll be, what's the catalyst? What is it going to take for these funds to completely cover shorts and actually go long this market? And if we see it.
Great question. So the farmer's long about, currently, best I can tell, about 3 times as much as the funds are short. We are coming into springtime. Some great things happen with this moisture event. Iowa getting pounded with rain. We love that. Our folks in Iowa need, oh, look at that. I didn't know that was there. And wait, there's more. Talk about this.
Yeah, bunch of precipitation. We've been talking a lot about northeast Iowa, parts of Iowa on that drought monitor. these past few days, right, they've got a lot of precipitation in that 2-inch, some places more. And so we've seen it. I believe we're going to get rain a little bit in my area, in our area, Tommy. I think today through tomorrow. So good to see, right? We're still probably, in Central Illinois, I'm going to say we're 2, maybe 3 weeks away from guys really getting after it, and planters are rolling. So I think it's good to see this little precipitation. One thing we need, Brady was telling us about the temperatures and what he's seeing in Kansas. I don't really need those 20, 25-degree temperatures or whatever they are in Kansas. So, but good precipitation, good to see. We'll keep watching that.
Yeah, we have a couple questions. Folks out there watching on X, thanks for watching. You're more than welcome to ask a question. We have about a minute or two before we end the show. We do have a question. You can bring that up, Joe. It's an interesting question. Farmer Brett, you guys have a favorite stock to go long? Farmer Brett,
Oh,
personally,
man.
I have a 401k, and I let those folks do it. I index everything. Occasionally I do. You're going to laugh at me, but I bought some Casey stock for my kids years ago because as I travel through rural America, about the only place I can find anything in the middle of nowhere is a Casey's or a dollar store. And those stocks have performed very well. That is not a recommendation. That's just a Tommy Grisafi fact that if you want to slice pizza, I love pizza, and you need to go to the bathroom and you want to get an energy drink to head on down to your farm, Casey's is the place to do it. And they look to really be expanding. Casey's sells more pizza than any other pizza place in the state of Iowa. Back to you, Connor B.
I don't own any Casey stock, but I should by how often I go there. It's unbelievable. But Brett's trying to make us in the Jim Cramers to throw out stock recommendations.
Bye.
Right?
Okay, hold on. I can do it. We got to back the truck up. You want Jim Cramer? Back the
That's great. But Brett, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Warren Buffett, right? I love look. Have you heard of him, Tommy? I love looking up the
long-time listener,
$1 million.
first-time caller, Warren Buffett. Yeah, just subscribe to ATI ProMedia Premium. Warren, we're sending you a flag. Thank you so
There
much,
we
Warren,
go.
for subscribing.
We can comp him one. But looking at that, right? If he bought the S&P 500 and said if anyone could beat him in the next 20 years, he'd pay him $1 million. Right?
I remember that.
And so if we're investing the next 20, 30 years, hard to beat the S&P, the Dow, or something like that. So
right.
Boring answer, but it's the truth.
Right. He meant fund manager, not the CEO of NVIDIA saying, hey, I made 50,000%.
No.
He's saying people who manage billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, like BlackRock. Why can't you guys beat the S&P 500? So all these people who are money managers. Now, listen, one real important thing to understand about stocks before we go is stocks tend to go from the bottom left to the top right over the course of history. You know what? Hold on. Pull up a chart, Joe. I'm going to show you the course of history in the Dow Jones as far as I can go back, right? These are Dow Jones futures, of course. I'm going to go back to monthly. I'm going to go to active. But just look at this, folks. Going back to 2011. Hey, guess who had two thumbs and pulled up that chart on the fly? This guy. All right, going back to 2011. Look at that. Dow was at 10,000. 10,000. We're going to 40,000. That would be equivalent for you at home, back of the room. That'd be like corn being $1, and now it's at $4, and we're always going up. That's not what happens in corn. Back in 2008, we went to 8, and a few years later, we were at 3. Just a year or two ago, we were at 8. Now we went down to $2.99 cash corn. Commodities get overproduced. Come watch this film in 2 years, and I promise you. Well, I don't want to promise because that'd be dangerous. It would be my gut feeling that cocoa would be a lot lower than where it is. Cocoa sending out a signal in the world. We need more cocoa. Two things this is going to do to the cocoa market real quick. It's going to make people consume less. Going to be a little sticker shock when we go to buy a chocolate bar in a few months. And it's going to make people produce more. And commodities don't trade like stock. Hey, the questions are starting to line up. If they're half decent, Joe, put them up. I'm in a good mood. I got a full cup of coffee.
Luke, I don't suppose the EV credits include payments for sulfur in our fertilizer. Luke, we can read what's Biden's plan? It's the COVID, or what did he call it? I can't remember. But I could flip through it, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say no, you're not going to be paid for adding sulfur in your fertilizer.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, real quick, Farmer Brett said, thanks to technology, absolutely. Grains go down because you guys are awesome. So if you're mad, if on Thursday we go down, real quick reminder about Thursday. If we went limit down in corn, which would be about 35 cents, we'd be back to contract lows. Markets are closed Friday. We won't open till Easter Sunday. Going to be a little thin that night. And then on Monday, Europe goes into a holiday and Europe goes into I think it's called Easter Monday or something like that. So some incredible news out there. Real quick before we go, cattle on the move. Feeder cattle up 75 after being down 300.
Hey-o.
Tommy Grisafi from Valparaiso, Indiana. Connor B. And with that, you finish it up, Connor. What would you like people to know? What I'm trying to do is buy myself time to find the button. Go ahead. How do people get a hold of us, Connor?
Give us a call. Tommy said the number. Send us an email, info@ATI ProMedia. If you want to see something, you got a question, you don't want to pop on the live show, send us an email. We'll be doing this every day at 9. Thursday, we'll be going live at 11 to do the report. And I think with that, we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Phone lines are open. Give us a call. Free flag. Sign up for ATI Pro Media. You sign up. I'll see you signed up. Flag will be coming out to you today. See you, brother.
See you.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.